Association for the Integration of Women is a nonprofit that was started at the beginning of 2020. And we started it after we were confronted with some very disturbing data. We learned that migrant women in Europe are the most disadvantaged group of people for a lot of different reasons. Either these women are arriving in Europe by themselves or with children as a single parent. These are women who maybe don't speak their new national language in the country that they've arrived in, women that have suffered trauma, women that, regardless of their skills that they already have, still haven't been able to live the lives that they dreamed of living when they come into Europe. And we knew that there was something that we could do to help them. Myself and my friends, another also American living in Italy, we looked at each other and we started considering different ways that we could create opportunities for these women just in our own town. So we looked at what our skill sets are. My friend was a project manager for Food for Soul, a nonprofit at Osteria Francescana, and myself a cook. I just cook, that's all I do. So that's the only thing that I can share. So what we decided to set up was this 4-month culinary training program, where basically we would be giving the skills to these women to be able to complete our program and then find a job in the field. We work with a lot of big companies to find them job placements as soon as they're finished doing the training program with us. But we also teach non-technical skills during this course. So there's the Italian language courses on your rights as a worker, how to read your paycheck, how to write your curriculum and do job interviews. And all of these different things put together have really empowered a lot of women in our community, and they're thriving and succeeding. So we hope that what we're doing today there, training 4 women at a time, hopefully 16 women at a time next year, as well with the new space that we're renovating that's just been given to us by the city of Modena. What we want to do is empower women who will then go and empower other women, cooks empowering cooks. And then hopefully set off this chain reaction of, people helping other people basically to achieve success in their lives and happiness. And so that's the objective of the AIW, and that's what we've been working on. I think that Italian cuisine is an amazing cuisine. I traveled from Canada to Italy because they have something that is really special. They have centuries and centuries of tradition. They have amazing local produce. They have a huge respect for the territory, for the animals, and they do this all just out of tradition. A sustainable approach to cooking that just already exists naturally within Italian culture. And you see that reflected in a lot of the different dishes, whether it's because you're eating a bollito in Emilia-Romagna, or whether you're eating, I don't know, orecchiette in Puglia. Wherever you go, people are cooking to where they are, with the ingredients that they have there. And I think that there's not one dish that represents the entire country of Italy, because there's so many different culinary identities from the north all the way to the south. And that's the beauty of the Italian cuisine. Well, Canadian cuisine is a really interesting it's in a really interesting place right now. I think Canadian cuisine is in the process of developing its own identity. And I believe that from one side, because Canadian cuisine is still in that searching for their own identity, there's still a lot of freedom there. So people are able to express themselves in so many different ways as they're going through that process, that creative process, that maybe sometimes in Italian cuisine, people feel limited to what's traditional. Whereas in Canadian cuisine, there really is none of that tradition that can sometimes be confining when you are working, creatively in different fields. So, bringing that kind of no barriers cooking mentality that people have in Canada into Italy is really an interesting process. So sustainability is the future. There is no 2 ways about it. There's no more fighting against it. There's no saying that it's not going to happen. It has to happen. And so, zero waste is an amazing way that cooks and chefs can contribute to sustainability goals that have been set up by the United Nations. But if somebody goes and looks at what the United Nations have set up, they have 17 different sets of goals. And food waste is just one of them. But there's so many different things that we can also apply in our kitchens that will still contribute to a sustainable planet by the year 2030. We can look at offering decent working conditions, equal rights, gender equality, protecting our waters, protecting our lands, creating strong communities. All of these different goals are things that we can, by being creative, by keeping our minds open and starting the conversation, we can really bring and implement a lot of changes into our kitchens that are going to bring sustainable change into the future. I think that at this point, and especially after the pandemic, we're seeing a really special moment in the culinary field where we can start again. So we can look back at a lot of the past mistakes that we've made in terms of work ethics and lifestyle, and we can really take this time and create a new work environment for the future, which means creating environments for people where they're not overworked. And that requires also digitalization. What kind of programs can we implement into our daily tasks and into what we're doing that are going to facilitate organization, that are going to help us save food? It's going to help us track what's coming in, what's going out, help us be smarter when we're ordering. Digitalizing ways give us bigger access to information to find the right suppliers who are going to be giving us the right products. Again, with this idea of sustainability in mind, yes, for the planet, but also for our staff. The restaurant industry, kitchen culture, it's not known as being an easy environment to work in. The hours are long. But there are ways that we can use technology to help remediate that and to help give a better work-life balance to the people that are working in this industry. I think that it's really interesting, and you're asking this question to me, what do I think of the future of cooking and rational ovens and the technology that's in there? I'm a chef that I actually started cooking in very modern kitchens as well. And over the last 20 years, I've used rational a lot, and it's an amazing product. Recently, I've actually gone back to cooking with fire. Fire, which is the most antique form of cooking that exists on this planet. But when we take what we know of technology, which is almost backwards in a way, starting with the technology and the approaches and trying to achieve those results even with fire is very interesting, But the two of them together is really what we need. It's nature, it's technology, and it's creativity. And keeping those things in mind, that's what the future is. Rational is the perfect example of a modern company that has their eyes set on the future. Just from the materials that they're choosing, recycled materials to build the equipment, and also their great consideration for reducing energy consumption. These are, again, small steps towards big changes in the future. And so that's why it's an interesting company and a really good company to support, especially in our field.